All right. Dan, let's start with you, man. You can unmute.
Sure.
Questions, comments, concerns about what we just went over.
Yeah, I just put into the chat about like just what you said about it hurts so good. That descriptiveness, like giving clients a phrase or something that just sinks home, and then you get it. It's just an instant resonance versus like even the number thing of like, oh, is it a 2 or is it 4? And then you're bouncing all over the place. It's almost just keep it simple. I love how you reframe that and just like the simpler the better, and then you can get to it right away. And
Yeah, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, one of the things that I see a lot of, especially seasoned therapists do is, and I'm totally, guilty of doing this at times too, is just you get used to seeing the same people over and over and over again. So you kind of have your thing and you know what works for them. And then, not paying attention. Like, oh, someone walks in, they're not having a good day. Like, my wife just told me something and I responded totally not seeing what her bigger perspective was. Like if so this applies to our personal lives. It's everybody. It's a people business. So it's like if you could pay attention, see where they are, get to their main concerns first, then talk about, subject or, secondary, tertiary things. But
Yeah.
that like first thing is just we all want that first thing.
And I do think that's key because one of the things I learned is when I don't frame what the massage should feel like. Clients don't know what the right pressure is. Well, what is the right pressure, right? And so that pressure might be slightly too deep for me to get the right results for them because it still feels good, but it hurts more than it should, or it's too light, and then this is fine. But they're like afraid to speak up anymore if I don't give them this framework. This is what I want you to feel, and that could be a number thing. I don't mind that it's a number thing. Like, hey, this hurts so good I say it's a 7 out of 10 on the pain scale. That's right where I want to be. I don't use that often, but I have. Um, but yeah, man. And also what you said with like paying attention to how people feel, like when your wife walked in, that's just, again, caring enough to pay attention. That's where I also think about this intuition thing is people say that they're like empaths and stuff like that. And I'm fine with that. That people tell me that I am. And I'm like, I don't know if I am. I don't know. I don't know if I don't claim that title. I think empaths are just better at reading body language. They're like, oh, you weren't making eye contact with me when you walked in the room. What's going on? I can tell something's going on.
Mm.
You know,
That's
I, I
reading.
think I think that can be taught. So when I say intuition, I think that can be taught, but I don't know that I can teach somebody to care enough to want to learn it. Yeah.
Yeah, reading the like you said, reading the body language and the attention. You can teach attention, but yeah, teaching caring is a whole different ballgame.
All right. Anybody else want to make a comment or questions, comments, concerns? I don't know if I can see. I can't see everybody on camera, but Magali, did you want to say anything? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself if you can. There you go.
Okay. So it would be better for the new clients to explain how is your work and what you're going to do and make sure the right words to use because sometimes, well, I made that mistake because it was rushy. So I just say something really quick and maybe I was too cold for them that I did my massage, but they didn't book again. I mean, I resolved the problem, but I didn't have continuously that client
How do you know you solved the problem?
because she was well, at the end she said I feel less pain, so that's what I wanted. That
Okay.
was the phrase that they said because I used to work more in a clinic, so over there it's fast paced over there. It's just boom, 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 boom. That's it.
Yeah.
But because I was having short time, so I was like more into that rushy time. that say, okay, this is gonna be this, and this and that, and maybe didn't like
Or how
the
much time
way
did you
how
have in this
interview.
in this particular session? How much time did you have?
In that particular session, I have, just because it was clinic, it was 30 minutes.
And were you so rushed because they wanted a bunch of areas worked on?
No, because there was a lot of clients. Not me, it's just because it was a clinic.
Was this a massage school or something?
No, it's a PT clinic.
I got you.
Yeah.
Look, it's hard for me to say like exactly what that client was thinking in that
Yeah.
session. But if you ever feel like you don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
you can, again, just communicate with them like, look, we don't have a lot of time. I might only be able to get to one thing today. So since we
Okay.
only have 30 minutes, what's the one thing we can get to today that if I fix that, you'll be happy?
Okay.
Because of the short time, we might have to work on some of the other areas that you have concerns on in the future. And then we're already setting them up to come back. So let's take care of your number one thing. And then I see you have a 2 and a 3 and a 4 other concerns here. And up front, we're going to have to do those another time. I'm not going to have time for those today.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? And maybe that can help you slow down, because if you only had their lower back to work on in 30 minutes, that's plenty of time to work on somebody's lower back issue, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, 30 minutes is not plenty of time to work on somebody's neck, upper back, traps, lower back, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not plenty of time. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
So there, we're setting the expectations around what is possible in the session today.
Mm.
And at the same time, we're setting them up for future sessions by already recommending that you're going to have to come back for these other ones. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that helps, but with that specific scenario, it's hard for me to give any other type of feedback on what they might be going through when I'm not there.
But in general, it's, you have to be not, I mean, the word is not to be careful, it's just the right words to introduce yourself and introduce your work to the patient or to the client as a first
Maybe it will
client.
help after I send the questions sheet, because
Okay.
I don't necessarily need to tell the client anything that I'm about to do before I
okay.
work on them. I'm only asking them questions in the beginning. Those
Okay.
questions are what are selling me on the fact that I actually care about what's going on. I don't have to tell them anything. I don't have to prove to them, at least in that part, that I know what I'm doing. That part's building trust. And then when I actually work on them, that's the proof.
Okay.
And either I do a good job there or I don't. And then they come back or they don't. But I don't have to, hey, I'm the best, you know, like I'm working on you, like this is what I don't need to do all that and like tell them how awesome I am or anything like that when I'm introducing myself. I'm really just gonna go in there with a caring heart,
Mm-hmm.
try to understand their situation. And once I understand their situation, then I can come up with a plan for it. But I can't
Okay.
do that before I understand their situation.
Okay. Cool.
Pamela, if you're able to get on, if not, oh, there you are.
Hi.
Questions, comments, concerns?
No questions, but I love all the information, great reminders. And I do think it's key communication, letting your clients know what's going on, explaining everything that you're going to do, you know, briefly, and then just let them know, you know, whether or not you're going to have time for working on everything depending on their needs and concerns. I think that is key, keeping that open communication with them. So great information. I appreciate it. It was good.
For sure. And that is key, because again, that leads us to possibly booking more sessions. Like, look, we only have an hour today,
Right.
you know, and the type of work that I do is detailed, it's specific. And if I can get rid of 1 or 2 concerns today, great. But you have 4, 5, 6 concerns, I'm going to need more time, either a longer session or more sessions, you know?
Right.
And it's not, I mean, that's not salesy. I know massage therapists don't get into this business to be salespeople. And that's just what it is. Either I'm going to rush through this session trying to get all your issues done in one session, which is impossible. And you're not going to be happy if I do that, most likely, or we're going to have multiple sessions here.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thank you.
Bryant, are you able to speak? I know I saw you in the car earlier.
Yes, I can speak. I just got to my destination.
I know you weren't here for the whole class, but what did you think about what you heard so far?
Everything was great. Just the communication. I really like that. Because that is literally my focus right now is scaling. So I can focus on more the back office and marketing and also retention. So communication is definitely key. I'm kind of the same. I communicate with my speed. Like if I feel a knot, but also you get those clients where they don't want like a more focused triple type of massage. So I was actually considering one of my next CEUs is going to be Lomi Lomi. I just brought a therapist on and she gave me a Lomi session and I was like, I kind of need that because I'm so like segmented that it'll really help out with my flow. So yeah, I really like the
And people love
communication
Lomi.
aspect and communication with the speed of the session and trying to find that right depth and pressure.
And perfect. And I know you want to hire a therapist and you have hired therapists. This, again, this is what I use in my hiring process. When they give me the massage, this is how I give them feedback. Because I
Nice.
believe that, like most therapists can train another therapist on different techniques to use. That's the easy part. This training allows me to know I can just hire off of attitude when I use this. Because I can teach you the technique, I can teach you the communication piece that is bridging the gap between the technique and the client being happy. And then now I know I can just train, I can hire off of attitude and people who are positive in my business because the training part is done. A lot of people don't hire new therapists because they don't know how to train and they think it's all technique based. But the therapist is still missing. They're still, even though the technique is okay, they're still missing the point. You're still not finding the right area or the right pressure, but you're working it for the right amount of time. And those are the things that the clients really care about. So you could take this, you could train your therapist with it as well.
Absolutely. And something that you said that I'm going to add into, like if they came in for with focus on the neck and before you go to another area, hey, are you satisfied with that? I really like that checking in. That's something I'm definitely going to add to my tool belt as well, as far as communication goes.
And I think if you do that, you're going to see your client's happiness go. It's going to be crazy. You'll be like, dang, they did want more time. Like, dang, man, I thought I was doing good before. You know?
Right. Like, what about all the other people? I left hanging dry.
Right. Dude, and I had a client that I've been working on for years, and not necessarily the right amount of time, but for pressure. I stopped checking in with her on pressure, and I thought I was getting it right because she never spoke up, you know. And then I did check in. She's like, "No, I can go a lot deeper than this." I was like, "Jody, I've been doing this like same pressure on you forever. What do you mean?" You know. I'm like, "Dang, dude, thanks for coming back, though. I appreciate it. You know, that, even though I was getting it wrong, you know, so." Appreciate you, man.
Hey,
is Jackie still in here? Jackie, if you're still in here, I would love to hear from you.
Hey, Michael, I just saw that she
Oh, she exit?
She has a client coming in right now.
Okay, perfect. Heather, I know you've gone through this before, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I don't know what to say.
Anything stand out for you today?
I have heard it a lot, so
You have.
Sometimes I'll just tell you what I do, just this one thing that I was thinking about. Like, if I have a new client, sometimes they don't want to say anything. You know, they're new and they're scared or whatever. And so sometimes I say, hey, if there's any spots, you know, that during the massage, you know, if there's a spot that feels good, you could just make a noise and I'll just hang out there for a little bit. They don't even have to say anything. They can just kind of make a noise, whatever noise you feel like making. So
I like that.
sometimes you just don't want to say anything, but you're like, you just want to say like something small, you know what I mean? So, but I'm very noisy during my massages, so
Yeah, you are.
sorry.
No, it makes it easy for me to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
To know that I'm in the right area.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'll
Thank you
try
so
to
much.
ask if you want more or less pressure next time, Michael.
Yeah. Get better at that.
I do
Ashley,
have
I'm gonna
to
tell a
go,
story.
though.
You're good. Thank you so much for
Okay.
being here. You're good to go. And if
Okay,
anybody
bye.
else needs to leave, you're more than welcome to, but I'm okay to stay on here a little bit longer. Whenever I first brought Heather on, yeah, I'm gonna tell the story. So when she first got hired or interviewed with me, I thought I knew what a good massage was, right? She's another reason that like kind of reignited this passion for me, is because when I brought her on, I didn't hire her at first. Her massage was good, but I was so cocky and arrogant that I thought that it wasn't at the level that I expect for massage customs, right? Because I'm the best, you know, and I know what I'm talking about. Well, what she did have was a great attitude, and she showed up, which is another rare thing for massage therapists. She actually showed up every time when she said she was going to show up. And so I started hiring her for gigs outside of my business, the hotel visits or home visits, and I would refer those clients to her. And I started getting feedback from those clients. I check in with them, how was your massage? And they're like, dude, that was the best massage I've ever had. And I'm like, the best? You haven't had my massage yet, you know? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. But I started hearing it so much that I was like, you know what? She's got a great personality. She shows up, and I'm hearing nothing but compliments from clients about how she's amazing. So I'm just going to take a chance. I'm going to hire her. So I hire her. Send her some clients. No worries, right? Because I'm like, she's good, but she's not better than me, right? That's my thought. Send her a client, never see that client again. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. How? You know? She knows how. But and it happened so many times that I would send her a client. Again, me thinking I knew what a good massage was at the time. But I would never see these clients again. And then I was like, okay, now I got to keep going because I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't know what a good massage is, obviously, because she's crushing me right now. And I think I'm better than her. You know, as cocky and arrogant as I was. And that's, you know, so as cocky and arrogant as I am, let me correct that. But like hiring her got me on the process and reignited the passion of me figuring this stuff out. I think we have a pretty good handle on it, but there's always going to be things that we're adding to it because I don't think I'm 100% there yet. Rachel, if you're still here, I would love to hear from you.
I was just gonna say we've grown so much together. That's all. Sorry, Rachel.
We have. All right,
Hi.
Rachel. Hi.
So I thought it was great. A lot of it was like me going, yes, I do that. Okay, it's more confirmation. I've been doing this for 15 years. It was a lot of confirmation of, yeah, this is why I keep getting return clients, why I'm fully booked, why I called you up a couple months ago and said, I don't know what to do. I have more clients than what I can do with, you know, and a lot of it is listening and communicating, you know, this is how I start things. You have like an hour and a half massage. I usually start with the feet. Do you want me to start with your problem area? You know, and making sure that I listen, I face them. Sometimes I notice that my body language is like, my feet are out the door. because I know I have things to do before I start their massage. And then I turn my feet towards them and make sure they know with my body that I'm listening. So I mean, everything that you were talking about it's really important. I think that is why I do get, I'm full. But also the questions, I can't wait to see your question list and how to get good feedback. Because I get positive feedback, and then, you know, my reviews are really good, but I don't get a lot of like negative feedback. One time I did
Nobody
from
does.
a massage therapist, and she said she didn't feel like I listened to her. And that was really helpful. And I I apologized. I said, the next time you come in, I'll give it to you for free. And I really doubled down and listened to what she had to say. And I think, and then we started trading. Like, she and I had this relationship, and then she retired. But what were you gonna ask me something?
Did she clarify what that meant?
Yes, I have it actually. We communicated via Messenger. So I'd have to look back and see what our conversation was. She said that she had one problem area in her hip, and I didn't focus on it enough. And that was
Huge
and
problem.
I feel
our
it,
industry.
right. And I feel like I can feel things, but sometimes I don't when they have a problem area. I'm like, how they said this is an issue, but I don't feel tension. I'm not feeling anything like on my end. So yeah, that was my bad. Like, I should have asked. I think I just did my routine with her.
Yeah, and I don't
Sometimes
think there's any problem saying,
Right.
hey, you know what? I'm having trouble finding
Yeah,
the spot that's bothering you. Because
Yeah.
in my head, I'm not going to say this part, but because you're not giving me any verbal or nonverbal cues
right.
when I'm in this area, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not really feeling any crazy tension here. I'm thinking that, not saying it. I was like, I'm having trouble finding the area. Can you just, when I find it, speak up so I know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
most of the time they don't care I don't care how that makes me look. They are pumped when I hit that spot.
Right. I'm here for them. It's not about me. That is
Right.
something that I really had to grow up in realizing, like, it's not about me at all. At all. It's about them and me being there for them and holding space for them. Physically, sometimes it's emotionally, within reasonable boundaries.
Yeah. And for you, if you want, you can use, now that you have this information, maybe you've been doing these things, and maybe there's some honing in on these things that you need to do. Now that you have
Mhm.
this information, if you have that many clients, you're turning that many clients away, you can use this information to scale and to train your therapist when you hire a new therapist. Because then you, like I said before, you can take somebody, now you know, and you can express to them why I didn't like this massage. Here's what you can do to fix it. Again,
Right.
most of the time it's communication, or maybe it's technique, and I need to show you a few techniques. But if your personality is awesome and you show up to work, I know I can help. I know I can get you to where I need you to be.
Right. Absolutely. Something else that I want to give feedback for you, like, I think I said this last time when we talked. I really appreciate males in this industry
Mhm.
because they bring, it's a female dominated industry, and I've mostly worked with women. And I appreciate the perspective, the male perspective. You guys bring something to this industry that is just so important. Like, again, communicating, what is it? I don't, it's, I don't know how to explain it. Well, first of all, there is like, I want to improve, and I want to, you're able to articulate things in a certain way. And I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Dan, any other insight with your 21 years of experience? Love to hear from you again.
It's just really great to be around other therapists. I think always, so often I've worked in lots of community settings, offices and whatnot, rented space for years. And, I'm now, we have a backyard bodywork office, and it's great. And it also, I don't have that daily feedback, so I do a lot of classes, teaching, coaching, and all that stuff. But it's great to for me. It's like, oh wow, oh yeah, I remember that first 5 years, 10 years of that piece that Rachel, you just said about the perspective between masculine and feminine perspectives, and they're both super important. And and to be able to share that that perspective, waiting for the opportunity too, like creating the opportunity by communicating better with our clients. Stopping, like someone had said, like it's not about, I think Rachel said, it's not about us, it's not about me, it's really about the client. And when you step out of your own way, you can be available for them, and that's what keeps us really busy, that we're good at holding space.
And I just gotta give you props, man, because I know as we age in this field, there really can be a certain level of arrogance, and I do appreciate you showing up today, even with all your experience, and adding to the discussion today, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, I just, same thing, reflecting back to you, is just being, you said like being I forget what the word, having full confidence or whatever, but like there is no, I know 100% ever.
No.
So, and that's what keeps me humble and also curious, because it's like, what don't I know? Yeah.
The curiosity. Yeah. Dude, I'm like, dude, what am I missing? What am I missing? What do I need to add to this thing? Like it's never ending. Like, even though I'm going to put these courses out, I'm going to redo them like in a couple years for sure, because I'm going to get more information. I'm going to figure out how to get better at asking questions. I'm not as good as I'm going to be, hopefully.
Yeah.
My goal has always been to, like, I want to have to apologize to people the year before when they got a massage from me. Like, dude, I'm so sorry about that work I was doing last year. Trash compared to this year.
Awesome, man.
So,
yeah, super appreciate you.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording now.
All right.